This is one of the best videos.
Oh, yeah.
Found a mint. There you go. Yeah, little mint kind of. Can you open that thing?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
You bet. Wintergreen, my favorite.
Start something, Joe.
No, they,
That
ain't my business.
good behavior. The reward for good behavior. Kenny, is this one of yours?
No, Your Honor.
I don't know. Okay. Sorry.
Your Honor, Mr. Watson has this motion to revoke probation and a new possession controlled substance. He's going to plead true this morning on the motion to revoke counts 1 and 2, which includes the new offense. And then depending on what the court does on the motion to revoke probation, we can then dispose of the new case as well. So we're going to deal first of all with the motion. It's okay.
All right. Is that your plan?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we call two cases, 21-37207 and 23-CR1633, the state of Texas versus Alan J. Watson III. You're Mr. Watson.
Yes, sir.
Present with your attorney, Mr. Dusler, and the state's attorney. On this earlier case, 37207, the motion to revoke unadjudicated probation, we will deal with that one first. Does the defendant waive a formal reading of this motion? Can we proceed in summary?
Yes, sir.
And raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm, Mr. Watson, the testimony and statements you make during these hearings today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Lower your hand. In summary, this motion filed on August 24th, 2023 states that on August 12th of 2021 in this court, you were placed on 5 years deferred or unadjudicated probation for the second-degree felony of burglary of a habitation. Is all of that true?
Yes, sir.
Allegation 1 states you committed the offense of illegal possession of a controlled substance on or about February 15th, 2023, which looks like it mirrors the indictment here in 23-1633, which states on or about February 15th, 2023. You knowingly and intentionally possessed a controlled substance, namely methamphetamine, of an amount of 4 grams or more, but less than 200 grams. That's a second-degree felony. Do you understand what you're charged with in allegation 1 here?
Yes, sir.
Is this true or untrue as it is alleged?
It's true, sir.
Are you pleading true voluntarily to this allegation and because it is true? Do you understand by a knowing and voluntary plea of true to an allegation such as this, that is enough to grant this motion to revoke probation by a preponderance of the evidence standard or greater? Your probation can be revoked. You can now be found guilty and sentenced up to the full range of punishment, which is no less than 2 nor more than 20 years confinement in prison. Knowing that, you insist on pleading true today?
Yes, sir.
I find you are pleading true voluntarily. You understand and appreciate the consequences of pleading true?
Yes, sir.
Look at this. I'll pause here real quickly. How old were the children in the car?
Sir,
How old were the children in the car with you?
there were 7, 4, and 3.
Okay. The drugs that were found in the child's backpack. What was it? Which child did that backpack belong to?
I had got the backpack from my wife. It was all that clothes in the backpack, sir.
Where were the children going? Where were you
We
taking?
were going to a hotel. We were just going to pick up my mother from work. I have been staying in a hotel since September of 2022, sir. And I was using the car to go get the stuff out of one hotel and bring them to the hotel room, and then to go pick up my mother from work.
The weapon that was in the vehicle as well. Was it Taurus?
Yes, sir.
Whose was that?
It was mine. I have been having that gun since I was 21 years old, sir.
Uh-huh. On my watch, while on my probation, you're going to do that?
My apologies, sir. I just been having it. That's the gun I've been having. I had told my probation officer everything. You know, I was just moving from one hotel to the next, sir.
And the drugs, where'd those come from?
But they were mine, sir. I got
On my
Okay.
watch?
wife had left me. I just needed something to keep me energized that way. I was just addicted to them. So,
Where'd you get them?
sir?
Did you manufacture them?
No, sir.
Where'd you get them?
I got it from someone.
Who?
Not from my uncle.
Who?
Uncle Michael.
We're going to play this game all day long?
No, sir.
Michael who?
Real.
Is your uncle? You know who he
Yes,
is?
sir. Yes, sir.
Where's he live?
I don't know where he stays now.
You don't know where he lives?
He moved, like that's what I'm saying. I've been in jail since July. He moved, sir.
Did I
Last-
ask you how long you've been in
last-
jail?
No, sir.
Where does he live? Where did he live at
The
the
last,
time?
the
he
last,
had-
the
Hold
last.
on.
Yes, sir.
I'll ask the questions
Yes,
when I
sir.
complete, then you
Yes,
can
sir.
answer. She can't take both of us speaking at the same time. And actually, at the end of the day, the courts have said, if she can't do her job, everybody in court gets in trouble. Because she has to be able to put down everything that's said, so that if it's ever looked at later, they would know what's happened. All right, you get to speak. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. The last known address, I know he stayed on Main Street, sir.
May,
Yes, sir. Main Street.
so how did the drugs get into the child's backpack? Did you put them in?
No, sir. I didn't put him in. What I'm saying.
Who's setting up children here?
Sir,
Who's setting up the children?
I'm
'Cause
not
those
saying,
are-
no, sir. I would never do that.
Am I going to
No,
have to tell you
Apologies.
again not to speak when I speak? All right, the drugs are in a child's backpack. How did they get in one of your children's backpack? Or do you really care?
I do care, sir.
Okay, so I'd have gotten to the bottom of that, if I was the parent. So how did it get into the child's backpack?
I put him in justice.
So. What are we going to do? There is no agreement here,
That's correct.
according to what you're saying. Stay. Probation. He's been on probation since August of 21, so that's a little over 3 years, 2 years, I mean. So how would you, analyze his term of probation?
Well, based on the documentation, because I just started.
Oh, did you? Who was probation before him?
Mr. Wood.
Mr. Moody? Okay,
But when I met with him.
he's the one who filed, didn't he file this? Okay, you've just picked it up. It looks like this was filed back in February. I signed this in March. Okay. So what little time you've had to review him?
Yes, when I met with him in September, at the jail, he stated that he had an addiction to pills and that he wanted treatment in place of the motion to revoke.
Okay. How long have you been addicted here to drugs?
I've been addicted, say once, I'll say since 2016, so.
Okay. I'm saying that because when we, this isn't funny, it's just, it doesn't make any sense. When you're placed on probation, an evaluation is done of you. They ask you questions. You're supposed to give answers truthfully so that if there's an issue like addiction, we can target that and treat that and deal with that before it explodes into another crime, which means you must have fudged and you weren't forthright with the probation office because 85% of the probationers are successful. 5 out of 6, which is a great record. We're very proud of it. We hate failure, but we can't read your mind. And an evaluation is done of you when you come into probation. You probably knew that, but the probation office is willing, ready, and able to help you at any time deal with anything. But conditions of probation include right off the bat, don't commit a crime. That's number one. But see, submitting to a substance abuse assessment, follow a recommended treatment plan. I mean, that had to have been done. They must have assessed you and you must have told them you don't have a problem. You don't use drugs illegally. And
Can I say something, Your Honor?
yeah,
I had asked Mr. Moody and the supervisor I was trying to get to the shelter in Port Arthur because I didn't have a place to stay with me and my kids.
wait. When did you express that concern?
I had expressed that to the supervisor and Mr. Moody like twice, sir.
When?
I want to say during my probation. During my probation, sir.
Well, you've been on probation since 21.
Yeah, I expressed that to him like.
And wait, and you're telling me he just ignored helping you in every way?
They said I had to have my ducks in a row. I got called in the office. They said I had to have my ducks in a row.
No, that's not the way our probation office. They work directly under us. I know how. They're selfless people. They don't have anything to gain by not helping. They have everything to gain by helping. That's what they do. They sought this out for a living, helping people.
Your Honor, I really did ask them, Your Honor. I asked them numerous times, sir.
Let me ask you
Yes,
this.
sir. Yes, sir.
Even if that were true, you're the one that makes the choice. Okay. And trying to infer blame on them because she's not happy being up here. They hate to be up here because it's treated like a kind of a failure that they couldn't get you across the finish line. I know how they feel. That's the only people that are hired up there are the people who want probationers to be successful. Don't blame them.
No,
But you're talking to me now about 7 years, a problem with drugs, and you never expressed that one time to them on your own? Or they're supposed to read your mind?
Oh, sir.
No, I know. We all know. We know the way it works. Just nobody likes to see a failure. We don't like failure. It's frustrating. We wished everybody could come across the finish line, successfully. All right. Go ahead.
Your Honor, state's just requesting 10 years TDC to run, I guess, concurrently with this new case if he does decide to plead on that one as well. Again, he's given a break on probation for burglary of habitation, and he's caught with drugs in his kid's backpack. So that's why the state feels 10 years would be appropriate.
Your Honor, my The information that I have, tells me that he did report, regularly on probation. I don't think he had an issue with reporting. I believe he's been doing his community service. I think he's been trying to do right, but obviously he's got a drug problem messed up. And I've discussed with him maybe some options, which may be an appropriate option since he is acknowledging, his drug dependency would
Yeah.
be safety. And I think that, maybe that would be a good option. Continuing on probation and, order safety as a condition of probation.
And from probation. Anything else you want to add?
I don't know, sir.
Can you see pre-sentence report real quickly, please? When did you take over from John?
7/13.
It's in. Got invited here for this new one on. Oh, you haven't been charged with these new cases, huh?
We have a new possession case. That's what we're holding up on. To determine what happens over much of their levels.
We were indicted. Yeah, just a few weeks ago. Takes forever to get those results back. I mean, that was sent off in February, and
Yes, sir, Your Honor. And I'm printing the PSI. I'll run and grab it for you real quick.
let me look at that real quick. And before. How many felony convictions do you have?
Sir.
Do you have any felony convictions?
Sir.
What about misdemeanor convictions?
Chiefs, I had marijuana. I got arrested for marijuana. And I was
No, I'm talking about convictions, not arrests, just convictions.
I don't know, sir. I never been in trouble, sir. I don't know, sir.
Well, if you've never been in trouble, it's nothing.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, okay.
I was on probation. I want to say for the marijuana.
We went to misdemeanor court on that.
I had yes, and I got probation for it.
What happened there?
I had
Did it get revoked?
no, sir. I just went.
You completed it?
Yes, sir. I want to turn myself in. Not the probation. I just want to turn myself in.
Okay, so in '07, you were placed on a year probation in misdemeanor court for driving while license invalid. That was revoked and you did 15 days in jail, correct?
Yes.
That's not all, though. In 2010, illegal possession of marijuana, 1 year deferred, that was revoked in 2011. And then you were sentenced to 30 days in jail for that. Correct?
Yes, sir.
You've never been convicted of a felony offense.
Yes, sir.
Anything else?
No, sir.
If not, I'm going to make the following findings. That you have pleaded true to allegation number 1 in this motion to revoke unadjudicated probation voluntarily, knowingly, intelligently. And that is enough to grant this motion to revoke unadjudicated probation, to approve it by a preponderance of the evidence or greater. I so find your deferred or unadjudicated probation is now revoked. Earlier, you pleaded guilty voluntarily to this underlying offense of burglary of a habitation. You were mentally competent to do so. You understood the consequences of pleading guilty. There was sufficient evidence supporting your guilty plea to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And I now find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt of that underlying offense of burglary, a second-degree felony, based upon this finding of illegal possession of a controlled substance in allegation 1 of this motion to revoke probation. And earlier you had pleaded guilty to the deferred or unadjudicated probation voluntarily. You were mentally competent to do so. You understood the consequences of pleading guilty. There was sufficient evidence supporting your guilty plea to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt at that time. And I deferred any adjudication of guilt. That time has come to an end. Your deferred or unadjudicated probation is hereby revoked. You were hereby found guilty beyond a reasonable doubt of that underlying offense of burglary of a habitation based upon this motion to revoke unadjudicated probation, which I have found true. And you are hereby sentenced to confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice to serve a term of 10 years. I'm just going to let that sink in for just a second. Now, there are some options I have. I can place you in prison, and within 180 days, I can bring you back and place you on regular probation under a form of shock probation, and then see if you're still interested in getting help for your problem, which has obviously gotten you into a mess. That would be a responsible way of handling this catastrophe. If not, the 10-year sentence will just serve itself out in time. And that will be based upon parole decisions by others. What do you want to do?
I want to do right by my kids, John.
It's about time. You should have been doing right by your children. I mean, there they are in the car with the crime. 2 crimes. You're talking, you're speaking wisdom, but you're not acting wise when you commit these kinds of crimes with your children present. You weren't acting wise when you committed the underlying crime. I'm looking at that. I think I can remember that. And that was a bizarre deal altogether. But it is a way of helping yourself do better and try to somewhat patch this mess back into a package so that you could handle your responsibilities as a father better and as a good role model for the children. But it's your choice.
Could I suggest to the court that the sentence be suspended and he be ordered to safety as a condition of probation?
No, he's going to prison for some time. This is all, the underlying case was terrible of the burglary. That's unexplainable. And you must have been high on something to pull a stunt like I'm reading. I don't know why you did that, but you shouldn't have been in somebody's home when they're there in their privacy and scaring them to death. You can also be shot and killed for that, and they would be given a parade for stopping a burglary of a home, because that's a castle, somebody's castle. You're not supposed to disturb it unless you have permission. But you're certainly not supposed to be, while on probation, possessing firearms and drugs and using the kids to facilitate your wrongdoing. That's terrible. So what I'm going to do is review this, set it on the calendar. If the probation office can remind me, I'll also have my staff remind me in 150 days. It's about 5 months. Then if you have done well in your confinement in prison portion, then the court will be inclined to bring you back. And if you still want some help like you're asking for, then we could put you on regular probation. But every bad act has its consequences. And you can't wrap them all up and say, can I get 2 for $1?
Yes.
You got to pay for each wrong choice. But that's all about responsibility and accepting responsibility and striving to do better. But that's our plan. And it sounds bleak, but it's a lot better than the ultimate of 10 years in prison. That puts you a generation away, out of touch with your children and family, if you care for them.
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's see if we can work that plan.
And Your Honor, you just want us to hold off on the possession of controlled substance until he comes back and see where he's at on that, and potentially.
Well, what's the difference? It was going to be a disposition, and it was going to be dismissed, and I've disposed of it, but not finally. So it can be dismissed. I would think he's done his part, and it's kind of what I'm doing here. Yeah, because if we'd have just put him on regular probation right off the bat, it would have been dismissed. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Well, hit me that we can move that one out of the way. Do well, sir.
Yes, sir.
But I didn't want to, I'm right there, right?
So I don't have you'll send me a dismissal?
Yes.